It says that she's the host.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
live.
that's what popped up.
Oh, nice. Okay. Perfect.
I don't know how to
Um,
fix it after we're done with this, so
okay. Yeah, I'll help you. It's all good. I can upload it. Um, so I just wanted to do this because I know I've been kind of MIA this month, a little bit because of the craziness going on. And I know a lot of people are kind of like coming down off it. Like we had such a high last month, and some of us are coming down from that high. Plus, some of you guys are new. So I just wanted to kind of like go over a few things. I talked to some of the, like a few of our leaders on our team that we have, some of our rubies and emeralds, just to kind of like gather what they were thinking. And the biggest thing was thoroughness with our six list. That was the biggest thing that we all kind of thought about. So I kind of wanted to go over the importance of it because it really all works together. It's not something that like I've come up with or Jordan has come up with. It's something that is like, it's universal across the board. Everyone who is successful is doing their six list, but they're doing it in their own way, you know? So that's the biggest key is figuring out how to do it in your way to fit your life and your personality. There's key things that have to happen. The first one being mindset. Mindset is huge. And the way we get a good mindset, hi Natalie, is it's almost like when we're like in the truth, when we're trying to go out in service and we're trying to be really thorough and have a really good Bible study, we have to do really good personal study, right? To be able, we have to take it in, to be able to pour it out. We have to do the same thing with this business. It, it all kind of it encompasses the same types of things. You have to take in things to be able to put them back out. So taking in some sort of um, personal development, self-development is huge. A lot of times, some of the leaders in the boom chat, they'll share videos that's like how to do certain things or how someone overcame certain things. You can watch those. A lot of times, if they're sharing that with us, it's a really good video and it's something that we can all um, enjoy. Like we had one about like family opposition. I know a lot of us have had family opposition, even if it's minimal. It could be, um, can everybody mute themselves actually? It could be like something really minimal. My family made fun of me a little bit, you know, it was not that bad, but that video yesterday kind of helped talk about how sometimes people really have a hard time and we don't get that support. So mindset is huge. I know for myself, when I wasn't doing self-development, I was not getting the results that I wanted. So that's the first one. So find a podcast. Um, who's, I love Pam Souter's podcast. I love Jade's podcast. I love Rachel Hollis's podcast. Anytime you're on an early morning Zoom, normally we'll play those just kind of in the background. So that's a little bit of self-development. It's not like we're just talking the whole time on the morning Zooms, but we are listening to something. The other thing is going to be following. I know following new people is hard for a lot of you guys. I was there in the very beginning. I had the hardest time because, you know, especially in the truth, like we learn not to follow people we don't know, right? Like that's a big thing and it makes total sense, right? But this is different, you know, it's, I'm sharing different things than what I would be sharing on my personal page. On my personal page, I was always sharing like my family vacation and just, I don't know. I don't share my nieces on my business page. Like there's certain things I don't share because they're not my kids. I would share them on my personal page. I think of it as, and you guys have probably heard me say this, I think of it kind of as like when I worked at the chiropractor's office. I had pictures of my family in my office. A chiropractor is different than a physician. A physician's office, people come in, what, like once a year? And then when they're sick. The chiropractor, they came in sometimes every day, sometimes once a week, sometimes once a month. I got to know what their dog's name was, what their kids' names were, and all of that. I did not hang out with them, obviously. You know, I knew them on this level, not on this level. That's exactly how I view following new people on Instagram. I don't get to know them. And I'm like at the chiropractor office, where I was stuck with them until they decided to stop coming, I can block them. If I don't like what I'm seeing, if I don't like who they are, I just hit that block button. So don't ever be scared to follow someone new, because if you feel uncomfortable when you see what they're posting, you can just block them. If someone says something negative, block them. The block button is fun. It's an easy thing to do. Just hit it. You know what I mean? Don't let fear stop you from growing your network, because if you stop growing your network, who's going to see all your stuff? Why are you even doing anything else, right? If you don't grow it, nobody's seeing your things. Most of the people that are watching my stories are the people that I followed at the very beginning and the people I've most recently followed. That's who's seeing my stuff. So it's very important. The more people I follow, like on a regular daily basis, the higher up my numbers for like my views on my stories and my posts goes. If I haven't been doing a good job with following, my posts likes go down, because in the algorithm, it's not boosting up. So it's a very important thing. And then just make sure you're keeping track, like as you follow them, find a good way to keep track of who's not following you back. Because you don't want to have like, you've got 300 followers and you're following 1,000. You don't want to let that number get too big. So that's part of our 6 list, after, maybe for 5 minutes, you follow new people. And then for a couple minutes, just unfollow accounts. I save people. So like I follow followers a lot. I'll look at a picture. I'll follow the people that liked it. And then I'll actually save that picture in a collection called New Following. And then every day I'll go to the bottom of that collection in Instagram. I'll click on a picture. And one by one, when it says following, I'll look at their followers. And if my name is not at the top of that list, that means that they're not following me back. I'm going to unfollow that person. There's no need for me to follow them if they're not following me back. So just find a rhythm. Rachel Dutra did a video on it in Goal Getters. So you could always search that if that what I just said didn't make sense. We used to be able to open a little nice app and we would see who wasn't following us and we go boop, 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 unfollow. Don't do that. You will get blocked on Instagram. A lot of people made that mistake. So they stopped letting us do it. So that's one part. Stories is a big one. A lot of you guys are really good with your stories. You're good at being consistent on your stories, and I love that. You're creative. If you're newer, you're using the Rising Diamonds pictures that we have. As far as like sharing your products in the business goes, in slides, I am not concerned. Like you guys do amazing. The one thing I would say is help your followers get to know you. Share your life through your day. Because if it's just pictures of the products, if it's just videos of your hands making the product, they're gonna lose interest. Now, you can totally do videos of your hands doing the products. I'm not saying not to. I do it a lot, but just throw in there every couple of days, every 3 days, throw in you talking about it. Or if you have a kid, even if you don't feel comfortable sharing their face, share the back of them running one day. Things like that, like people eat it up, You can share very little, but wind up sharing a lot. People will feel comfortable with you. They'll feel like they know you. Like Leslie shared her garden the other day. That was awesome. She shares her dogs. People know her because of her dogs and her love of gardening. Rainey shares her dogs a lot. So things like that, it helps to break it up, helps them to get to know who you are. If you feel comfortable, talk to your phone. I know some of you are really good at that. Just mix it up. Obviously, I had not talked to my phone in probably 3 days because my life has been crazy. It's okay if that happens. Like, life happens, but don't let it happen for too long, And you can build yourself up to that, obviously, If you don't feel comfortable talking or doing videos of yourself right now, that's okay. But share a little bit about your day. Break it up, help people have like reasons for following us, because it's not going to always be the products that they're immediately interested in. It's going to be us as a person. So help them to see who you are. Same with like you never want to let those run out, by the way, either. If you let your stories run out, then your algorithm doesn't go well. Always keep a couple on there. And it's actually better if you do it throughout the day rather than just posting 20 stories all at one time. I tend to do that on Facebook. It's so dumb, but I do that. But on Instagram, I never do that. Like, you have to go throughout the day because then it's easier, because then maybe you realize you're like, oh no, I only have 3 stories up and they're about to run out in 3 hours. So now I need to post some more. It's easier if you just have them going. The one thing of your 6 list that I don't necessarily think is the most important thing to do every single day is post a picture on your feed. You don't have to. That is not the most important part of your business. That being said, definitely do post. I probably, like, every 2 or 3 days, I think it's important, show up in your feed. People don't all look at stories. Sometimes you're going to get 2 different audiences. A lot of the older people that are following you do not know how to use their stories. As you'll find out as you ask for people to share a picture for you, they're going to be like, I don't know how to do that, sweetie. So we're doing 2 different things. Or maybe the algorithm is weird and they see that, but they don't see the other thing. So when you're sharing a picture, though, make it meaningful. I would so much rather you guys post a good, clear, crisp picture with meaning than just randomly throwing something up there just to have something there. Definitely quality over quantity is what's important with posting a picture. It doesn't always have to be a selfie. And it's hard, I know, sometimes. I have had the hardest time this last 2 weeks figuring out what on earth to post because I haven't left the house in 6 days. What do you post, So if you have a storehouse of things, that can be good too. If you're feeling really cute one day, have a friend or your husband, or I had a 4-year-old take my picture the other day. It's fine, whatever. Do it. Have people take your picture, or rig it so that you could put a ladder with some duct tape in your yard and set a timer. I do that a lot because I am definitely not having my father take my picture at home. I just lug a little step ladder around. So, take a few pictures, and have something. Share your family, share your why. Everyone has a why, and a picture speaks 1,000 words. I very strongly feel that I actually reached Diamond last month because of the picture that I posted a couple of days before the end of the month. I posted a picture of my mom and myself, I think. Yes, my mom was holding a kitten. And it wasn't just the handicapped lady holding a kitten in the picture. But then there had to be words too. So obviously, don't spend 30 minutes trying to formulate a post, guys. Your time is more valuable other places. But if you can think of something to talk about your why, in that post, I just poured my heart out and I talked about my why, what Diamond would mean for me. Maybe it means that you don't have to spend more time away from your family. Maybe your parents need help. Maybe you're pioneering. There's all sorts of whys. Maybe you just want that extra money to go on vacation. You're going to tug at someone's heartstrings, That's who you're attracting. So if you every couple posts, every 2 or 3 even, if you're putting in there something about your why, if you're putting in something about the business, that's what attracted me to the business. I'm here because Jordan posted a life post. So you never know who's looking. It's really hard to Google work from home jobs. I tried. I know. Nothing comes up. So nothing of value that for what we're doing. MLM does not come up. It's hard to find that. So that's a super important thing to do. Messaging, I know, is a hard one for a lot of us. It's hard for me. When I'm busy, messaging is the last thing that I want to do. The last thing. So I start with it first because I don't want to do it. I set a timer for 10 minutes. And what I do is I start with my following and I have my welcome message. I'll go to the top of my following and I'll send that welcome message to my new followers until I hit someone that I last sent it to. Then I scroll down a little bit and I send a host a post message. What I did the other day is I actually would look at their feed and I would look at their last couple pictures, and if they had a cat or if they had a garden or if they had a baby, I would, in my already scripted out message, I would insert something in there about one of those things. And I got more people responding to me. Tara suggested sending voice messages. I know that's scary for some people, but sending a voice message as asking them to share a picture for you, she said that that was actually super helpful for her. So just mix it up. Again, quantity over quality is going to get you further. Some people just, and I've done this too, I go back and forth. You can mass message and you can copy and paste 50 people in 10 minutes. You can do that. And you're probably going to get like 6 or 7 responses and people posting it for you. You can probably send 20 and get the same amount if you're being really personalized and figuring out how to do things in that way. So just be yourself. Like, let them know you're being you. If you are sending a script, make sure it sounds super, super genuinely you. Something that you would say to that person, because that can definitely help. Voice messaging, a response is huge too. Like if you're not sending out the first one in a voice message, if you say, hey, great, thanks, this is the picture, I really appreciate it, you know, it's for your story, if you don't mind tagging me, it helps them and they feel like you're a real person. So that's an awesome thing. And then following up on people that reach out to you, that's a big deal. That's a lot. I think that's the last of the sick list. Find a way to follow up. It's different for everyone. I have tried them all. Electronic is the way for me. I tried a like Rolodex type system for following up. I tried my planner for following up. My brain doesn't work that way. I can't write things down like that. So now in my Instagram, under collections, I have current LCs. So anytime someone becomes a loyal customer, I actually save one of their pictures into that folder so that when there's a sale, I'll just go through and I'll message them. I have potential LCs. I have potential distributors. So just find files, you know. You can create files if you want to. I use my reminders a lot. So say somebody says, I'm going to grab something on the 16th. You better believe I'm going to put their screen name in my reminders for the 16th at 9 a.m. Always start early because probably they're not going to respond right away. And don't feel bad unsending and resending messages if they haven't seen it. Like you can do that on Instagram. You can hold down and hit unsend, but just make sure you're following up. That's a big deal. They say it takes like 8 times for somebody to reach out, but sometimes it's right away. Sometimes with Host to Post, it's right away. Sometimes if they open your page and they see your story highlights on your main profile, I've had people purchase because of that too. So you never know. Sometimes it's just them glancing. Maybe they used to order products from somebody and they like you and they want to order from you. I've had that happen a lot. So just being very present on your page and helping people know who you are and feeling comfortable following up with them. All of those things are big, but you can kind of see how they all work together, right? If you don't grow your network, you're not going to have anyone to message. You're not going to have anyone to see your stories. If people don't have your stories to see, they're not going to know what you're all about. When you message them, they're not going to have seen anything ever before. If you don't follow up, you might not get the customers. So they all go hand in hand, and it's all just putting it out there. I'm a very firm believer in attraction marketing too. Not fully, but I like to do a lot of that. Make them come to you. I get just as many customers from attraction marketing as I do from messaging. So if you do a mix of the two, it makes it so much easier for you. Work smarter, not harder, you guys. Think of ways that you can just save time and be personal, and it just makes a world of difference. And don't feel like nothing's happening now. If you're doing all of these things, you might get customers a year from now they just started following you now. That has happened so many times in the last like 3 or 4 months. I can't even believe it. I have had so many people reach out to me that were interested or told me they couldn't afford it or whatever a year ago. But because I was consistent, they knew that it was something that was meaningful. So it's kind of a cool thing to watch that happen and to see that like you persevering helps them. Plus, the more you persevere, the more people are going to believe in you. And that's a really, really fun thing to see. And I'm looking on here, most of you guys, there's a few of you that have been in for a year almost, right? Megan's almost a year. Leslie, you're probably around a year, right? But that's it. I mean, the rest of you guys are newer, like the last 6 months or so. So don't give up on that because you're just now going to start seeing the fruitage. If you're at the 6-month mark, you're going to just now start seeing people that are like, oh, she's still doing this. She didn't quit. This wasn't just a random thing that she's doing. So it's so fun to watch that happen. They start taking you seriously. And you better believe when you start telling people like, I doubled my paycheck this month, they're going to think you doubled it in like what you were making at your old job. You know, it's kind of funny. My friend, like people, if you're not lying, you're telling the truth. You doubled your paycheck from the month before. But it's funny what people think. So just be confident with everything you do. It's going to make a huge difference. Does anybody have anything that they want to add or say or anything like that? Anything that I missed? Feel free. You can unmute yourself, I think. I don't know.
I do.
Okay.
So you say it's the 6 list. I only got 5.
Did I
You
only
said
say 5? Okay, what did I say?
no.
I said
Maybe I missed one.
I might have missed one too. Okay.
Mindset, following new people, post picture on feed, messaging, and following up. Did I miss
And
one?
stories. Do your stories.
Oh, that's one of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
do your stories. Yeah. And there are tons of like worksheets and things to help you make sure that you accomplish all of those things. I know Kalila just made some. And part of self-development, you could be watching those short little videos that we put into the Diamond training page. Please watch them. I literally cried over trying to get those things in there with Kalila, so please watch them. Take advantage. We had to delete them like 5 times to get them pretty. Just for you guys.
Could you say that again, please? Watch it where?
In the Diamond Training Instagram page that we have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those videos, they're super helpful. And they're the sisters on our team. And, yeah, they're just helpful, and there's an index in the highlights. So if there's you could look at through the index and you could say, okay, I'm actually struggling with this. So I'm going to go to day 15 and I'm going to watch that. I don't know if you guys knew that, but there is an index. So it's in the highlights. I also have some of the highlights in there. We've saved them. So like if there's a particular product you're wanting to talk about, you can always screenshot those. I don't think the date's going to be on there. So yeah, utilize that to the fullest. We're going to slowly start adding a few more things on there, but it's a lot of work to screen record things. So we'll hopefully get things on there soon. But yeah, that's it. Oh, Christy, yes.
I was gonna say, what are some things, like one time I saw one of the screenshots that said like new now hiring or something. Is there certain new lingo that we shouldn't use?
Oh yeah. So we just had all this stuff with corporate for legality, for legal reasons. And it's kind of confusing, but basically, yes, we cannot say now hiring because in theory we are not hiring people. They're joining our team and we're working for ourselves, basically. So yeah, that's a really good point. So if you're doing a host-to-post picture, then you can put like opportunity available, work from home, things like that, but not now hiring. And then if you're doing a business post, anything that has to do with the business whatsoever, you should be also sharing the income disclosure as a second picture. So you guys may have seen that some of us are doing that. We just pick 2 pictures and I will send the income disclosure after this. It's not a huge deal, but it is for like legal reasons. If we're making any sort of financial claims whatsoever, we're supposed to do that because it's got all the averages. So you would never want someone to join you and be like, well, they said that I was gonna make $2,000 as a diamond. Okay, yeah. Like, eventually you'll make $2,000 as a diamond, but you have to build to that. That's figuring in bonuses and all of this other stuff, you know? So that's why we do that too. Is that everybody? Yeah? Oh, Leslie?
One thing, I don't know if you guys, can you hear me okay?
Mhm.
Okay. I had headphones and I'm not sure if they're working right.
No, it's fine.
Okay. So one thing that I try and remember when we're following up, I know it's a tedious task. Like you feel like you're asking and asking and asking. But it's also kind of like a return visit.
Mhm.
So, and building that return visit into a Bible study. So
That's
we
so
just
funny how
keep
that
going
happens.
back. Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
And
that's
then
very true.
for personal development, I downloaded an app called Libby, and
Oh,
you can attach it to your library system and check out audiobooks
oh, that's
and
cool.
listen to
Yeah.
audiobooks.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's what
awesome.
I've
I
been
have
doing.
Hoopla for that. That's perfect.
Oh,
Sandy?
so
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that I had actually yesterday I was so I think I was driving Danielle crazy. I was so pumped. I don't know, just the deal is so good that I don't
Mm-hmm.
know the deal. And I had sent messages a while back to some, like, I think it was like 5, 10 people that they never reply. And I say, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm going to send them a voice message.
Mm-hmm.
And sending a voice message because you're excited about it. I was like, when I was home and I'm hearing ping, ping, I'm like, oh, they were actually replying.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, send me the link. I would like to look at the product. So yeah, you have to make sure that you once if you notice that they're not replying to you, then send a voice message and let them hear you. Let them hear your
Yeah.
excitement.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Thank you. All right, this is going to end because it's the free one. But thank you guys so much. I know it was kind of last minute and everything, but I am still here. So things are calming down a little bit for me, just so you guys know. So feel free, like, don't be scared to text me. I know I feel like I scared you guys by saying that I wasn't going to be around as much, but keep texting me. Like, I'm still here. And, like, now both of the parents are home, so it's a lot, well, sort of, it's a lot calmer-ish around here. As, as calm as 3 preschool toddlers and a newborn can be. So still reach out if you have questions. Because that's honestly, like, that's the biggest way for me to be able to work my business right now is helping you guys run yours, because my mind, as far as like focusing on certain tasks, is hard. So if you guys have questions, I can focus on that. So let me know. Okay?
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye
Take
bye.
care. Bye.